I thought some of the numbers yesterday, we are obsessed with the quarterbacks, the real famous ones in that sport. And what happened with Russell Wilson yesterday was interesting as the numbers started pouring in, because this has been an evolution over my lifetime in sports, the total obsession with money. And so when you trade for Russell Wilson and you're the Denver Broncos, and you trade with the Seahawks, and you trade for a 1, a 2, and a 5 in 2022 and a 1 and a 2 in 23, and what you get from Russell Wilson is 2 years of the Broncos at $124 million. And that now on the he is on the cap in dead money. He is $85 million for the Broncos, which is more than what were the previous biggest numbers, 2 of them in dead cap money. Aaron Rodgers at 40-something million and Matt Ryan at 40-something million. The 2 of them before this were the most dead money. So this qualifies as one of the greatest mistakes we've ever seen in professional football. Trading for Russell Wilson. He was 11-19 in 30 games, and in less than 2 years now, I think this is from Warren Sharp, 2 teams are paying him $111 million to not play. And in a salary cap sports, that will cause you a great deal of problems. You see what's happening with the Dolphins right now, right? The Dolphins' best window was when Tua was cheap and they were able to load up on defense. But now they're losing Christian Wilkins.
Well, they have to pay Tua.
Because they've got to pay Tua. And so in a salary cap sport, this is a monster mistake. I don't even know where else you go to find a trade that ends up being as bad in results as this one. You got 5 high picks or 4 high picks and a 5th rounder, and you get an 11-19 record out of the deal.
It's a terrible situation in retrospect. When they made the deal, I didn't think it was that terrible. He was a very, very good player for a long time in Seattle. He was only 33 at the time of the trade, which they're thinking we've got another 5 years of this guy still in his prime. It didn't turn out right. It turned out to be an awful deal for Denver, but that's in retrospect. I didn't think it was bad at the time. Maybe others did.
It's a bad deal, obviously armed with hindsight, but it's going to be interesting now because Russell Wilson can go to whatever team he wants to go to, and he can go there for cheap. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what teams are going to want Russell Wilson to be their quarterback.
I saw that Pittsburgh was the betting favorite the last time that I looked.
That's a good spot for him.
Yeah.
Because I think last year it flashed. You were also worried about the Sean Payton trade, too, especially after that game against the Dolphins. But something happened within that locker room where Sean Payton found out how to get the most out of Russell Wilson, which was being super conservative. And Pittsburgh always finds himself in these games where they could really use the type of quarterback performance that Russell Wilson had towards the tail end of last year. So I think that's a great spot for him.
It would be an upgrade for them and for him.
Well, most guys would be an upgrade for the Steelers.
What would his slogan be there, though? Steel up. Steeler Nation. Let's steal. I don't know. We're just spitballing. What would it be?
Steal?
Steel country. Let's ride. No?
Steeler
I think
Nation.
let's steal.
Let's steal.
Yeah.
Let's steal.
Let's steal.
Let's steal is good. And Stugotz would love it, obviously.
Kidding me? I'm in.
Stugotz.
Stealing it.
We
Steel
need
curtain. Let's open. I don't.
Let's
Let's
get the dust off you.
Steel curtain call.
hard hat and lunch pail.
Ready to work. Steal out.
Steelers wheel.
Just keep workshopping. I think.
I wish you had.
We have time.
I wish you hadn't. I wish you'd thought about all of these things
let's
before
do it
you went
live
to
on
a
air.
microphone.
We'll figure it out.
No, I don't think we are going to figure this out. I'll sit here and wait if you want. Let's see if we can figure this out, because I think it'll take the rest of time.
Let's steal.
Yo, Pitt, let's get lit.
No.
Nah.
Black and yellow.
All right.
Black and yellow. Black and yellow.
It's a good
Wiz
song.
Khalifa.
That is shocking that he knew
I
that.
cannot
believe
that is
knew
the
that.
most
Thank you,
shocking
everyone.
thing since there was a Magnum condom in his wallet.
I love that
The
song.
bar's pretty
I shouldn't
low.
say I love
for,
it.
What's
like,
another song you
a
like?
hip hop
know.
reference from 12 years ago?
Amazing,
That's
Greg.
Still,
I've never been so impressed.
he came
Black
in
and
here
yellow,
today
black
dying
and
to
yellow.
talk about Bob Dylan. What did you find out, Pablo, when you went on a hunt for how strange and unusual Russell Wilson is?
Yeah, so the story is about the fact that I've been harboring one of the great details I believe in sports media, which is that Nate Tice, writer for The Athletic, son of Mike Tice, former Vikings head coach, was Russell Wilson's roommate in college, and yet he had not been mined in the way that I thirstily, voraciously mined him for information. And what you realize is that Russell Wilson is kind of a guy that all of us knew in college. I wonder if you guys had this guy in college who was sort of totally immune to the idea that everyone around him was cringing at how badly he wanted to be liked, while also being bad at being liked, and also being relentless in his pursuit of being liked. And so Russell Wilson's the sort of guy, Nate Tice told me, where they'd be on the road sitting on beds next to each other in like some Marriott courtyard somewhere before a football game. And Russell Wilson would say, "Hey, do you want to watch this with me?" And he put on the TV. And Nate Tice had unknowingly signed up to watch, alongside Russell Wilson, the college game day profile of Russell Wilson. At which point Russell Wilson turns to Nate Tice and he says, "So what'd you think?" And he's that guy. That's who Russell Wilson is. And there are many more stories along those lines where Russell Wilson basically becomes, to Nate Tice, this politician that Nate Tice is inadvertently writing speeches for. Because Russell Wilson's trying to figure out, how can I charm, this is literally a story in the episode, how can I charm Dan Patrick? Because Dan Patrick's going to talk to me at this big game we have. And Russell Wilson does not listen to Dan Patrick's show, but Nate Tice does. And so Nate Tice is just feeding him, "Oh yeah, mention that bucket, mention the bucket," whatever it is. I don't know the reference, but there's a bucket that Dan Patrick always talks about. And he's like, "Mention that." And so Russell Wilson is getting fed lines by his political speechwriter, Nate Tice, because that's what Russell Wilson's been trying to do since he was 18 years old.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Who do you like less, the person trying too hard to be liked or the person who doesn't care at all whether you like him or not? Because if I put them next to each other, Draymond Green and Russell Wilson, I think most people, the grand majority of people listening to this might deny that they care about being liked, but I think most people like to be liked, crave being liked, which is the more off-putting personality type, because we do not like the sports figure who goes searching for that very much.
Well, I think it raises this question, which by the way, there's a lot of self-loathing in me as I think about how badly I would like to be liked. Let's be clear about that too. I want to just head that off at the pass. But I think when it comes to the idea of what is cool, right? Like, who do we regard as cool in sports? Actually, curious what you guys think. Who's the coolest person in sports? And why is that the case? Because Russell Wilson, to me, is definitionally not cool because he has the thirst, the transparent, synthetic thirst of wanting to be liked so badly, wanting to be cool so badly that it becomes so deeply uncool.
Who is the coolest person in sports? Like when you go through in
Steph Curry's in that conversation, for me at least.
I don't think so. No,
I think he's cool.
No, I mean, you could like him, but I don't think people look at that and say cool. And I think his sneakers hurt him there.
Julio Rodriguez.
You've become a Mariners fan all of a sudden.
He is very cool.
When did this happen? When did you become
Yesterday.
Oh, nice. Name a second Mariner.
Earlier this morning.
Not here to be quizzed.
Mina is doing for Mike Ryan what Nate Tice was doing for Russell Wilson, just feeding lines about teams that he knows nothing about.
No, Mike Ryan has pledged himself to learning something about a single baseball player every day this season.